Riemann, we've got Jenny, we've got Ian, we've got Pierre, we've got Joseph, we have got Danny, we have got Margot, we haven't got your name yet, we've got Akbel, and Mikey, we've got Laura on social media and in person as well. And we've got Vivian online. Hello, Vivian. Say hello.
Hi, everyone.
There we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello, my name is Margot.
And I'm Mikey.
And you are listening to Talkaoke Shorts podcast, a recording of a group conversation during one of our Talkaoke events.
If you don't know what Talkaoke is, and have not heard of it before, it's a pop-up talk show that's been gaining popularity in festivals, clubs, galleries, theatres, conferences, on the street, in parks, everywhere.
It consists of an illuminated round table which looks a little bit like a spaceship, with a host sitting in the middle of it on a swivel chair. Participants sit around the outside and the microphones passed around, and you can speak about whatever comes to your mind. The conversations can last a couple of hours, but this is just a podcast where we edit out the recordings into bite-sized pieces so you can listen to the highlights from our exciting talk show wherever you are and whenever you want to.
In this episode, we explore the subject of dreams, nightmares, and the power of the mind, where consciousness and unconsciousness meets. Enjoy.
Are dreams actually related to stress? Danny, what were you going to say? Was that it? The stress?
Yeah, so the higher your stress levels are, the more you remember your dream.
That's crazy. Is this true?
Well, that's what I've come to a conclusion. Before this heart operation I was having a lot of thoughts, so my mind was in overdrive, so it was quite high level. That was only 2 weeks ago, so my mind was in high level. But every dream I had, I could remember, and I still remember the dreams now, before the operation, and I've not had a dream since the operation.
Okay, because you've been sleeping sound.
Yeah, it's sleeping sound, because your mind's at rest. And I've not had any stress since the operation.
Just to add a bit of, I don't know if it is science, but I am actually very stressed as well. So just to counter the idea that I certainly don't feel as if I'm not stressed. Maybe at night time I'm not stressed. I don't know.
What about this question of dreaming?
I have very vivid dreams as well.
Yeah.
No near-death experiences, but I do have a lot of dreams about, family or friends that have passed, visit in a dream.
Do you think you're connecting with those people in some way? When you're dreaming, do you feel like you're connecting with those people that have passed?
I feel like it's more like I'm viewing them from afar, like they are going on living, and I kind of just got a snapshot of what they're doing, but they're all always very happy and active, so it's always very comforting to see.
Okay, well, thanks for that, Vivian. That's a really good point. Now, Ian wants to come in.
Yeah, I want to come in because these dreams I've been having recently, lots of varied dreams, but over the last year, and the common theme to it is that I committed a murder. And the plot of the dream goes on. It could be anything, but then I'll get approached by somebody who wants to talk about the murder. Where was I at the time? Other dreams, totally different dreams. There's something at the end of it where a policeman will arrive and start quizzing me about this murder. And last night, I was actually accused of the murder, which I actually did. I found out last night that I murdered somebody. And there was all these nice people saying how good a person I am, but in fact, I know I'm a murderer. Right. So I'm still waiting for the outcome. They haven't.
It's like a series.
It is. It's been over a year in lots of different dreams where they've had a reference to it, where people have arrived and spoke about this murder.
Wow.
Could I just ask, this might be accusatory, but have you ever actually murdered anyone in waking hours?
Oh,
I should really claim the fifth on that one, shouldn't I? No, I haven't. Not even in my dreams. I'm a very peaceful person, but that's a good one. I kind of enjoy that dream.
Is it something you scare to kill someone without wanting it, or something who is like a fear and maybe you dream of it?
I did have a recurring dream before, and that was being bombed by aircraft. My father was in the RAF in the war, and I was surrounded by memorabilia and bombing. And what I discovered was that it was all about not being in control. Literally, things landing on you, like bombs, and it was about bills. I was worried about bills, wouldn't open letters, things coming through the post, that kind of things I have no control over, but have an impact in my life. So that's where the bombing came in. But as for this one, I don't know.
Has anyone else dreamed that they've killed somebody?
It's not exactly about murdering people, but I think in terms of dreams that I don't know, I haven't looked this up, but I think they're related to things that you're worried about or something. I don't get dreams that I murdered someone, but I sometimes get dreams that I got a tattoo or I got pregnant. But the tattoo one is more frequent. No, it doesn't matter. Like, the thing is that knowing that I've got a tattoo really makes me wake up in like cold sweat. And I don't think it's actually having a tattoo. I don't plan to have any. I don't have any. But I think there's something about it being irreversible. I know you can like cover up or whatever, but something about irreversibility of it, I think it's haunting me. That I'll get myself in a situation which I can't reverse.
Okay, so that's good self-analysis there going on. It's got very kind of analytical here. We're all talking about our dreams and...
You all knew about the last person that got pregnant in their dream and bore the Son of Man, Son of God.
Is that what happens?
I didn't read about that.
But anyway, was that the last person that got pregnant in their dreams? Okay, and at the moment we're talking about dreams. So that's where we are right now.
Yes, as a child, I used to have dreams that I'm dead.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if somebody had it. I think they have a name for that, but you like imagine infinity or something of a sort of that, and then you feel you're dead and you cannot move. You freeze. You can freeze from fear inside your dream. So this happened to me. That was terrifying.
But I think it's an interesting question. What is a nightmare for people? Because, okay, so for you was that. For me, it's like the tattoo pregnancy. Like, what are the nightmare? Like, what is your nightmare?
In terms of like the bad dreams, I would say for me, it's kind of maybe not as much now, but I used to use dreams in a therapeutic way to some extent, because if I would have a nightmare and very often the nightmare would keep on coming back and it would be always the same scenario and it was always the same end the same way with me terrified. Once I got to like this ability to control my dreams a little bit more, I would work to change this scenario. So for example, I would be actually like running away, flying away from someone chasing me. And again, like I told you, flying is a hard work and a dream because I'm heavy and I have to put a lot of effort to go up. So I would be flying pretty low and the thing would be chasing me, never ending, just a nightmare of me running away. And eventually I would make a conscious decision to stop myself and just face the whatever was chasing me and see what happened.
Actually confronting your fear.
Exactly. And once that happens, and I can try and change the scenario, sometimes it doesn't happen at the first try. Sometimes it takes me more times to dream it. I think there is a big potential in dreams because of that, because you can work with certain fears in your dreams and work through them. I think it's a niche to explore, maybe.
Well, I was just going to say that some of the dreams I remember, talking about therapeutic dreams, I've been a while after perhaps a relationship was broken down, and I've had a dream where I was actually speaking to that person and explaining myself to that person, whether I was in the right or wrong, but there was a conversation that probably should have happened at the time was now happening in a dream, and I found that very therapeutic.
Has anyone else made any progress in a dream?
What is a strange way of making progress is when you have a sex dream about somebody that you don't have sexual thoughts in real life. It happened to me when I was in my previous workplace, and I had a sex dream about a work colleague whom I did not fancy in real life. But the next day when I came in, there was strange thing. I don't know, maybe other people can relate, or maybe not, but I found it very strange to see this person next morning because the dream was so intimate. I felt like a real connection, like a real sense of sharing something. And I'm like, I couldn't look them in the eye. I'd blush, and they were like, "The fuck," and I was just like, "No, don't worry." But it honestly was so real. But it was in my dream. I was too embarrassed to face them, so I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll talk to you later." And then after a few days, I relaxed, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's a dream." Yeah, they had no idea, but because they're there, you're thinking like, "How can they not have any idea?" But they don't because it's in your head.
Yeah, I remember one of my girlfriends said to me one day that she had dreamed of something that I've completely missed. She was very upset in her dream. When it was the morning and she awake, she said to me that she have not contacted me directly because she was pissed off for something that I've done in her dream. But and I mean, what she have felt during her dreaming experience have stayed in the awaking time, and I've paid a bit the consequences.
But isn't it weird? Like we know, like we understand the dreams are dreams; they're not reality, and yet somebody you can carry the emotion, but then you wake up and you're thinking, "I know that I fell out with you in a dream, for instance, but I can't shake off this emotion because in my dream you were very, very real and whatever." Yeah, isn't it strange? We know what dreams are; they're not real things.
Yeah, when when I had an operation, the silly people put a morphine drip on my arm, told me if I was in pain I was to press this button. And of course, once I pressed it 2 or 3 times, it became a lot of fun. And I continually pressed it, which basically meant I overdosed on morphine, which wasn't great because I had night terrors. But I cannot trust my memory now because some of the things my mind describes as memories are obviously night terrors that I had when I was overdosing on morphine. And it's now I cannot distinguish between the two. So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting distinction about, reality
what
and
is actually real and what's not real.
I mean, I think there's an interesting connection here between dreams and memories. Like in that, how sometimes you remember things that didn't quite happen the way you think you remember them. I mean, I had an interesting conversation with a relative yesterday who was telling me about when she came and visited me in London a couple of years ago, and I had no, I had no memory of it. I mean, I don't remember my dreams, and I think I have a terrible memory. And she was telling me all this, and I thought, I believe it was all true because why would she make it up? It sounded all reasonable what she was saying. But yeah, I think maybe there's this link between those two things. Maybe people that have a very good memory also remember their dreams better.
I will go some association to the direction of memory, if I'm allowed, no? The connecting word is or memory or dream. Yeah, I was thinking, there's like I've been practicing with, in a certain time in my life, I decided to work on my memory, improve it. Because it's like, if there is something that I didn't want to do is like memorize things. I hated it, like in school, and it's like, but I read this, I don't know if you read the Einstein Dancing with, what is the name? Moonwalking with Einstein. It's a famous book, if you read it. Then I decided to do to work on my memory. So I contacted the US memory world champion. He was 4-time US memory world champion. And I started to train with him. It was very interesting, to see that in order to remember, you need actually to imagine. So you imagine like a palace and rooms, and you imagine things in the room. So you build yourself some kind of a dream in order to memorize things. Then with the time you practice it, and you're practicing imagining things in rooms.
What was your room like?
I have different rooms. I have one of a spa, a certain spa that I've been one time, and it was a huge spa. And then I put things every place. A place that is very relaxing. You need to think on it. So I had about let's say a spa with 100 items everywhere, scattered around. And these were being my projects. So I have been working on different things. You put the different thing in your life, you put them in the palace. It was an amazing way. You can drive, and then suddenly you can say, okay, I can now let's upload my projects one by one.
Yeah.
Or let me sit in a bench and actually work. I don't need the computer anymore because I remember tons of things. So, and it was very nice to practice this ability.
Yeah.
Because apparently we have we're very limited in what we can focus on, it seems like.
Are we in a way increasing our limitation by using the imagination? Is that what you're saying? By creating these rooms?
No, I'm saying that we shall design the dream. So I think that we shall fit on it before, plan and design the dream. or whatever we want to remember or think or imagine, and utilize it to our benefit. Because we are basing in remember like visualization. As an animal that is a septual, I don't know what they call it, memory, we can go around and imagine everything that we, if you take any animals, they can easily get to their home back. Because the memory of the different thing in the streets and that, you can actually do it very well. So it's the amount of we can remember is amazing. So using this ability and conceptual memory to actually visualize things that you actually want to plant inside, let's say whatever it is, 100 list of whatever, I found it amazing.
This was the People Speak Shorts podcast made by the People Speak. We would love to hear your thoughts about the subjects from the current episode and your feedback on your experience of listening to this episode. We're always looking for ways to improve and connect with people around the world, so make sure to get in touch and find our social media in the description of every episode below. If you would like to find out more about the future and past live events, please visit thepeoplespeak.org.uk/events. Thanks for listening, and remember to keep on talking and listening more.